Hello and welcome to another Verbling class. Tonight's class is about project management vocabulary. Well, we've got two students already in the class. Hello, Jer. Hello, Adela.
Hello.
Nobody hear me?
Hello.
Ah, there you are. You're speaking
Yes.
now.
Okay.
Jer, where are you from? Is that your backyard I see in the picture?
Yes, I am from Brazil, and this is my this picture is from my city.
Very nice. Very beautiful.
Yeah.
I think you've attended my classes before, Jer.
Yes, I have been choice in your class about project management.
Excellent. How do I pronounce your name? Am I saying it right?
Yes, you can say Jer.
Okay, terrific. We'll get started shortly. I just want to say hi to everybody. Is that Jose who's just joined us? It is. Hello, Jose from Spain.
Hello, Simon. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's good to see you. This is my fourth class today.
Oof, lot of classes.
Yeah, but I've had Adela in most of them, and not
Hello,
just
Simon.
Anna, or Adela and Anna in most of them too. So
Okay.
have all you guys. And yes, hello, Adela. Hi.
You
Hello.
feel
How are you?
tired, no? No, Simon?
I'm a little sore. I'm not tired, just sore.
Ah, sure. Only sure. Okay.
Yes. And Adela, how are you? It's late there.
11 p.m. Same for Jose.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
No,
My
it's
earlier classes were
vacation.
better, weren't they? Yeah. And Anna, hello Anna.
Hi, Simon.
I think I've seen you earlier today.
Yes, it was nice to have a great class.
Great. Well, this is also a conversation class, but we're going to focus a little bit more on vocabulary, and we're going to talk about our experiences with project quality management. Let's take a look here. So each time I have this class, we've been looking at a couple of knowledge areas, and if you look under PMBOK 5, these are the new knowledge areas. You'll see there's been one added. We talked about scope management, time management, cost management. And today I want to talk about quality management. So for the first round, I want to spend just a minute to talk to you guys about quality. And if you were going to manage a project, what would quality mean for you? What would you do to ensure a certain level of quality is met? Adela, I'll start with you. So on your projects, what does quality mean to you?
Quality for me is maybe to have to achieve the goals, to have the timetable. It's not only quality, but it's a globalization about the project, I think. They are you need to measure. They are different things to measure this quality.
Okay.
About the percentage, etc. They are, um, I think, different kinds of measure. I, I don't can explain. Sorry.
Okay. Well, no, that's actually very good. So quality management really does help us achieve our goals. It's very important. We also will have metrics um, that help us measure how well we're doing. So again, let's go back to that example of building a highway. As we do the work, we have people check the work we're doing. We make sure that we have all of the permits. That's one check. So we have a list of permits. Do we have the permits? Yes or no? Well, if we have them, then we've met that quality metric. Another quality metric might be on the grading of the land. So we'll have people measure to check that that is okay, and if it meets the grading tolerances, that quality metric is okay. When we get ready to put the cement down, instead of laying the cement, we take a sample of it, we measure it, we test it before we put it on the highway, because then it would cost an awful lot more. So metrics, we want to make sure all of our quality objectives are measurable. All right, thank you. AMP, on a project, we're talking about project management, we're talking about quality this class, and what I'm asking students to do is to tell us what you would use or what you would do on a project to ensure that you meet your quality requirements, or what you would do regarding quality.
To have a good team of human resources,
Okay.
good material,
Okay.
to first of all establish the plan for doing everything. And
Okay. So you talked about material. Why is that important?
Because of that, you are going to have a good result in your project. If not, well, maybe you are going to save money at the beginning, but then at the end you are going to spend more money trying to repair the damage that can cause the use of material of bad quality.
Okay, and that's very good. So yes, you know the quality. You've gone to market. You're asking for a certain level of quality, and you need to make sure that you achieve that quality throughout the project. Very good. All right, Alan, or actually, I'll come back to you in a minute, Alan. Anna, what does quality mean to you in terms of managing a project, and why is it important?
Well, it is very important because if you don't have a very clear policy, and then you cannot manage your team, you cannot get the best out of each employee. And to have the jobs well done, they have to give them the resources to do what they are supposed to do, and you have to be sure that your team can work well together, can help one another. You have to
Thank you.
create a conducive environment.
Right. So I think what you were also talking about is it's a way of managing your constraints. Remember, we talked about constraints are things that control us, and our scope is a very big constraint. We should only do the work we've promised to do, nothing more, nothing less. The cost and the schedule are also very important. So if we don't really know how to set up quality, then it all falls apart. Because quality is a big part of managing the scope, the cost, and the schedule. So that's very important. And I'll show you guys the definitions in a bit, but I want to know what you guys think first. All right, Jar, what about you? What do you think? Why do you think quality management is important?
I think for me, quality is something that you can specify, and quality should meet the needs of consumer or clients. It is very important because when you specify something, you can check in the end of the project if you achieve your goals or if your project was accomplished according to the scope.
Very good. So a project must produce a project, service, or result. And if we know the project, then, well, we know the characteristics of that product. And once we know the product, then we can set some quality guidelines. If it's a service, we have what are called SLAs. Okay? And an SLA is the service level agreement. What does that mean? Well, if my computer breaks down, you must come and fix it within 4 hours, 7 days a week. Right? That's a service level agreement. And a result, well, we're looking for certain results that might be more difficult to talk about. Jose, what does quality management mean to you?
For me, quality management means all the processes and activities need to determine and achieve the quality of the project, because the customer is the boss. You have to follow all the requirements that the boss said you. For me, quality means meeting the needs of customers.
Very good.
I think there are 3 important points. You have to you have to deliver a high quality project. The more important points are customer satisfaction, prevention over inspection, and continuous improvement.
All right,
Improvement.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, and back over to Alan. Alan, what does quality management mean to you?
Hello, teacher. The quality management, the focus of that is to ensure for the organization about the product, service, and the entire company too. Quality management is focused not only in the product or the service, but also on the achieve that also to achieve with exit that situation.
You need to achieve the results set up through the scope, the requirements. So all of that kind of comes back.
Yes.
Right. So what I'm going to share is this screen here, which is right from the PMBOK. I want you guys to read this for a couple of minutes. I've got to go upstairs and get a charger or my battery will die. I'll be back within 30 seconds. But read, start reading this, especially 8.1, 8.2, and 8.3. And then I'll be back and Adela will be first to speak. Great, as I get back, I realize my phone's about ready to die too, but it's got 20% left. All right. So, project quality management. If you look at 5125, it really just talks at a very, very high level. It includes everything that you need to do to ensure that you meet the quality policies, objectives, and responsibilities. So what it's really saying is you got to do what you have to do to make sure you get it done right. But it's using very project management speak there. I'm not too worried about that. But at 5135, 8.1, plan quality management, it's very important. in project management, a lot of what you do starts with planning. You can't just start performing quality assurance if you don't have a plan. And this is the process of identifying quality requirements or standards. Okay, so very simple: plan, quality management. That's really the first vocabulary phrase I want you guys to be aware of. The second is you need to perform quality assurance. Okay, and this is the process of auditing. Auditing is a very important word to use in business. Auditing means we check. We make sure we're doing it right. So it's the process of auditing the quality requirements, all the stuff we did in plan, and also to audit the results from quality control measurements to ensure that we're achieving the quality that we set up. And of course the last one, control quality, is the process of monitoring and recording results. It's actually testing, assessing performance. Okay, a lot of people get quality assurance and quality control mixed up. Okay. So what I would like to do now is I'd like to give each of you 2 minutes of talk time, and I want you to tell me a little bit about your experience working on projects. And I want you to tell me some stories about where things went really, really bad because of poor quality, and give me some examples if you can. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Or give me examples of where something went really, really well and why. And again, this is all focused on quality, okay? Try to use the vocabulary that you see here in your example. So Adela, you're up first. You've got 2 minutes. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I work in a school, and in this school the project for direction normally nowadays government have a plan to the quality on the school, and we have a quality project. We need to develop the quality indicators, and to in a project I think it's different, the project quality and the process quality, because is linked to the process and the project, because we arrive the project quality, but we can contrast this quality during the process and the ending. During the process you can permit for example to change the quality indicators, the groups of indicators, define the criteria about this indicator, and to change your project finally to have a quality, to have a result of quality. And you can, in this case, in the school, you can use surveys for the satisfaction about the customer, a percentage about the success of students, or number students are on the school, or this is different criteria. They are criteria more subjective, yes, no, or 1 to 5, and another quantify.
So, and I think it's important to understand this too, especially after hearing what Adela has said. You can be in charge of testing concrete if you're making the highway, and you have to meet tensile strength requirements of values between X and Y. If it falls within X and Y, good, the concrete is safe, you can pour it. If it doesn't, then it fails. Well, part of the process of quality management is to look at the results, but part of the process is also to look at the quality tests themselves. Are these tests sufficient? Are we doing the right tests? Is this an appropriate test for this type of highway, for this type of environment, you know? So we have to be not just looking at the results, but are we doing the right tests as well? Okay, Alan, you've got 2 minutes. Can you give us an example of a project that you were on where the quality was actually set up and it went well or it didn't go well?
Okay. I work in a distributor of electrical stuff, like electrical motors, sub-starter, all of that. We are working with a client about a purchase of a lot of material that we distribute, and in the same time that the client send the order, we have a problem with the personnel that process that purchase. There was fire for the company, and the order for the client was stuck in our papers, in our work, in our daily work, and we don't answer to the client at time. Now we are processing that order, and we are with the delay of 1 month. One of the aspects of quality in that situation is about the timing of the delivering of the stuff of the electrical material, and that is a mistake that we had in that project.
So it sounds like in your case then it was probably the fault was more related to quality assurance, not quality control. It was all the processes you guys had set up in place to prevent errors or defects or problems hadn't properly taken into account all the potential risks out there. Okay? And that's a good point. So we've got errors in QC and QA, and one way to look at it is quality assurance aims to prevent. The key there is prevent. Okay, it's all about preventing. Okay, we have processes, we have policies, we have standards, we have tools, we have techniques, we have all sorts of things. And quality control aims to identify and correct. Okay, quality assurance you could look at as being process-oriented, focusing on prevention. Quality control is product or service-oriented, focusing on defect identification. So one is prevention, one is identification and correction. So if you think of it that way, when you work on projects, you can see quite quickly, okay, so if we set up the processes really, really well and do everything, the chances of having a problem are very, very small. But if your product is very, very expensive and the cost or the impact of an error is very, very high, then you still want to have some great quality control to catch problems when they do occur. Okay, great, thank you. AMP, can you give us an example of a project you were on?
Well, when I was working at the bank, we have some service online, and it was a problem with the service when the modem just received many calls at the same time. It was saturated, and they tried to change these modems for another one. But I think that they failed when they decide to buy this equipment. The problem was it was almost the same, even worse, because of this equipment just reheat easily, even when they were in a rack with the fan that it was necessary for for preventing the reheat. But I think the quality of these models weren't good. So that is why they fail in this stage of the assurances of the quality. When they maybe when they have like a try, it just when it was during the hours that the service wasn't doesn't have many clients. Not they just have a small time improve, and that is why they have the consequences then when they have if they were facing the same problem with the saturated calls, and these models doesn't pass the control quality.
And your example is a very good example of when somebody else's project causes problems for other people in other areas, in other organizations. I want to give you guys a really good example of a situation where quality control failed and quality assurance. About almost 11, 12 years ago, a power failure occurred in Ohio. Within 2 hours, power had failed for much of Ontario, Quebec, New York, Ohio, and many other states. And power was out for at least 24 hours in most places. And there were many reasons for this, but the whole quality assurance piece was pretty bad because you had so many different utilities and companies and regulatory bodies that it was very hard to ensure a certain level of quality. So if one failed, it affected everybody else. It was like dominoes. And of course, once the problem occurred, it was very hard to get the whole system started again. Impact was in the billions of dollars. Thank you very much, Amp. Anna, so again, try to focus on QA being things that help prevent defects, and QC is about identifying and correcting. Can you give me an example of a project you're aware of where things either went really badly or went really well?
My gosh, teacher, it is difficult. Ah, my gosh. Could you repeat it slowly? Yes, please.
Okay. Have you ever been on a project?
Yes.
Okay.
In the health field.
In the health field. Okay. Can you tell me a brief description of one of the projects you worked on?
Okay, it's a project that in a long-term results, and the aim is to decrease the rates of cavity between the population of scholars. Can I say scholars, teachers, students, high schoolers?
High schoolers are students?
No, all schoolers from kindergarten to high school.
So we say students from from ages 5 all the way up to postgraduate.
All right, in my town. And the project consisted in going to schools and giving presentations about oral health between children and their parents, and engaging the teachers in the process, and applying fluoride every month, and picking up someone inside the school to apply a fluoride My gosh.
Right, thank you. Now, you didn't let me speak, so I couldn't guide you to the quality piece, so I don't really have much to say there, but we obviously understood a bit of the scope, but in terms of the quality metrics, I can't really comment because we didn't get a chance to discuss that. Maybe we can do that next time. All right, Jer, can you give me an example of a project you were on where maybe you can talk to some of the positives or how well the project did because of good quality assurance and good quality control. You've got 2 minutes, Jer.
Okay. I developed in the past a new project in my former company. It was a new bottle for water, and we have some specification from our marketing team, and the marketing decided to change square bottle to round bottle, plastic bottle. So in that time, I looked at my team, and we didn't have any experience to develop a round bottle, for instance, and we decided to hire a consultancy company, and we set up all the requirements, the specification, how the new packaging should work, should run in our production line, the productivity, the how much waste it would be acceptable, how should cost the packaging, how the packaging should meet the needs of the consumers. So it was a great project, and it was a success. During the tryout, we made sure that the packaging was okay. We conducted research with clients and customers, and they approved the packaging. And when we started the production, the packaging ran very well in our facility, and we could improve the price 5% in that time because the consumer and the client liked the new packaging, the new design, and we added some functionalities as well.
Okay, good. So I like this story because you started off by trying to do it yourselves. You obviously, somebody thought, let's see if we can do this ourselves. We can save ourselves some money, and if we reach a certain point we can't, we'll outsource it. And outsource is just a way of saying we'll let it be somebody else's problem. We'll hire somebody for a certain amount of dollars and time, they'll do it for us. Outsource. Okay, Anna brought up a good point. This is a difficult class. Well, it is and it isn't. As I said at the beginning, all I want you guys to really focus on is quality management vocabulary, such as to plan, to perform, and to perform quality assurance, and to perform quality control, and really what is the difference between the two. Each of you here has a certain level of experience. If it comes to the detail of dental and medical stuff, then Anna's going to be really well versed in that. We're going to hear an awful lot of dental vocabulary that's going to be confusing for the rest of us. Some of you are in process engineering, some of you in electrical, some of you in education. So you're going to hear a lot of vocabulary, but you're hearing a lot of experiences too. The main thing is you come away with those three main pieces of vocabulary. That's what I'm focusing on today. All right, Jose, you've got 2 minutes, sir. Can you give me another example, and maybe a positive one?
I try to work over the highway.
Okay.
The first thing that we have to do is identify all the quality requirements. For example, you have to identify with the customer the quality of the road, the life of the highway, all the requirements that should have the highway.
Mm-hmm.
When these requirements, you have to do or to make a quality checklist. with all the requirements that the customer gives to you. After that, over every project deliverable, you have to assurance the quality. It is better to work on the prevention and to assure that the highway will be of good quality. After that, the third step is over every project deliverable. You have to make a quality control. You have to test you have to test the perform quality control, and in function of the results, you have to take some corrective actions in order that the project will accomplish all the requirements that the customer gives to you.
Okay, so good. Yeah, I really think that prevention is the most important thing.
Yes.
Whatever you do.
Because the cost is less.
Yeah, well, it's a lot less. I wish I could show you a graph. Let me see if I can find it on the internet. But yeah, I mean, you just have to look, or not look, just listen to all the stories that have been told. And we talked a lot about the issues, resulting problems, but we didn't really talk a lot about planning. Now, Jose just mentioned quite a bit about planning and what we need to do. He says, well, first let's use the highway and what we need to do. We need to plan, and planning is very important, but it's not something you finish and put on the shelf. You need to go back and check to make sure people are doing the right thing. Auditing. Remember, auditing means to check. Let me see if I can quickly find this chart. Cost, there we go, cost to fix a bug. Oh, I like it, I like it. Oh, this is awesome. This is exciting. All right, maybe you guys won't find it exciting, but I do, because this is, if you're in software development, if you make a product, or if you perform a service, this is what I call the money shot right here. This is where it all comes together. It just makes sense. So bear with me here. I'm going to share out a different screen. There we go, desktop. All right, and cost to fix a bug. So look at this image here. Development, you can see the cost is relatively small. And imagine this is $1 right here, and this is $30. So if we fix it in development, it might cost us $1 or $2. Well, when we start do unit testing, okay, so we've done some development, or if we're working on a highway, we've got some planning, and this would be the planning stage. Unit testing means you've done some preliminary work. QA testing, well, you've got some units, so you're testing them, and now you're in production. The reason why production is so expensive is because you've already produced it. If you've only produced a couple of 100,000 or a couple of hundred, or you're in the early stages, costs are not as big. But if you're Honda and you've been producing a vehicle for a few years and you do a recall, it'll cost you 30 times more than if you catch it while you're planning to develop the car. And this can be used for any industry. Point is, catch it early, it's cheap to fix. And if anybody says we don't have the time, just remind them of this curve. Show it to them. Say, yes, boss, but I just want you to be aware that if this becomes a big issue, the cost could kill us. Okay? So I think that is really, really important. Okay, so I've lost my screen here. How do I get things back? Oh, that's going to make me dizzy. Right, get my, stopwatch here. All right, so everybody's had a chance in that round, correct? We've got 20 minutes left. So this is where I'm going to have you guys have a conversation with each other. And what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to pair you guys up. I'll do Adela and Jose. Then I'll do Alan and Jar. And then I'll do Amp and Anna. So I'll give you guys each 3 minutes. And what I want you to do is continue that discussion I started with you. But you're going to be having a discussion with each other. As always, don't take up all the talk time. Ensure that you each get a chance to have a certain amount of talk time. Right? I really liked where Anna was going, and I really want to hear more about that story when it's your turn. But like Anna, the one thing I want you to think about is you had this great project. They expected results. They did education. I want to know, were the results what they expected? Were they better or were they worse? But to start off, we'll pair up Adela with Jose. So you guys have 3 minutes, and I want you guys to talk about projects that you've worked on and how quality impacted that project or lack of. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Adela.
Hi, do you work in a school, no, as a teacher?
Yes, yes.
And what in Conselleria they are a program about quality of school, I think.
Yes.
It's same in your school. And
Yes.
what are the indicators you have in your school about different?
I didn't remember exactly the indicators, but I think it is very important, the project quality management, because the quality of the indicator I'm not in charge of these tags, but I think it is so important. What are the main indicators?
For us, it's difficult to define, to plan, no? To the objective indicators to be able to measure this objective, these goals.
Yes.
And I think there are different indicators about the different groups. For example, for parents, teachers, personnel, not teacher, and student. We have different after a plan to monitoring this quality control, these indicators of quality control.
The most difficult task, I think, it is to make the quality requirements, because it is the first step. If this step is wrong, the quality will be wrong. This step is the most important, I think.
Yes. Sometimes we have surveys to measure dates. We have different indicators, the kind of indicator, and we have we change the process. We check the process to change this indicator to try to improve, to define news, etc.
Yes, it is not they are not static indicators. All the time are changing.
Thank you very much,
yes.
guys.
Okay.
All right, next we have Alan and Jar. You guys will notice I'll put up a different screen. I like this screen. It's less technical when talking about quality. You guys have 3 minutes. Go ahead, starting now.
Hi, Jair.
Hello, Alan.
Let me ask you something. how you are involved about the quality management?
Can you repeat? I didn't understand.
How you are involved in that in your work, in your in personal projects? What about you and the quality management?
I'm not sure if you understood, but I will try to say something. Today, I am responsible for research and development, and I usually plan the quality of a new product, but my focus is always in packaging.
Okay.
And yes.
You are in charge for the packaging. The packaging of what kind of product?
We usually package meat products like sausages, pizza, some products like that.
Okay. But there are in that work, in your work, there are a quality assurance of the form of the method that you use for the packaging, or you just do the work like the others, or there are a supervisor telling you how to do that?
Okay, we usually, when we develop a new product, we usually create a technical specification so we can specify the variations, the target about, for instance, dimensions, volume, weight, performance, many things. And usually we have a supplier that produce this packaging, and when they produce the packaging, we make sure that they can supervise the production. And when the product reach our company, we have inspection to make sure that what we are receiving are according to our specification. And during the production line, we have a quality control as well to analyze if the product is working according to the plan.
Wow, I was so captured by what you guys were saying, I completely forgot where the time was. Very good.
Okay.
Yeah, so I like what you were saying. So when he asked you essentially who's responsible for QA, you talked about all the different things you did, and it's obviously that your organization really sees quality as a very, very important piece. And that's
yes,
terrific.
sure.
All right, Amp and Anna, are you ladies ready?
No.
No?
Let's try, okay.
All right, let's see how
I'm
you
going to try. All right. The project that I was involved wasn't I am involved, sorry, is in the healthy field, okay, and our aim is for long-term results, and we have some ways to measure our performance and if it is working, whether it is working or no, by examining, by checking the student's mouth, and we look for the average number of decades missing or filed teeth per person, and the percentage of age group affected by tooth decay. Then we implement the project in each school with a partnership with the principal and teachers and parents, and we have to change some habits, you
Did you
know.
start a plan like that before starting, or just doing without
So,
planification.
Excuse me, could you repeat because I cannot hear you very well?
Yes, if you establish a plan like this, controlling every detail in, around the project with the quality, all the steps, did you follow this? Did you follow these steps, or just you do?
Oh my gosh, I have a problem with my sound. I don't know what's going on. Could you type EMP? Sorry.
I really hate it when the internet gets in the way of classes.
Can you hear me, teacher?
I can hear you perfectly.
I don't know why
Can you hear me, teacher?
Normally what I would suggest, Anna, in situations like this is either leave the class and come back in, and if it doesn't resolve, or reboot, because I can hear you perfectly clear. It might just be a system thing.
Now I can hear you well. Could you repeat, EMP? I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, my question was if you established all these steps when you were developing your project with you were, or someone else was doing the project, who was in charge. You were
Okay, I received some guidances from the government because they had made some research, and they realized that the best way to decrease the rates of cavities is this way, by periodic applications of fluoride. The mouthwash fluoride every week, and this partnership with the schools.
And they are periodically visiting you?
Thank you very much, ladies. Yes. I did actually give you guys an extra minute because of the technical problems, but time is up. All right, quality control. We've got 1 minute each left, and I'll go to Adela first. Do you think organizations treat quality seriously?
Sorry, I don't. Sorry, I don't understand. I don't understand the question.
Do you think organizations take quality seriously?
No. I think sometimes it's organization only the quality has a paper to complete, to have dates after to for example, to say we have good results about the satisfaction of customer, don't have complaints, etc. But sometimes if you need to put a complaint, it's very difficult because they don't like to have one number more because that is the quality less decrease.
Thank you.
I think it's not.
And that's a very good point. Some organizations make it very difficult for you to get a hold of them, so you just don't bother and you return the device. So they don't get the feedback, everything must be okay. Alan, what do you think? Do you think companies treat quality seriously?
I don't think so, because some companies have a certification like ISO 9001, and they put a lot of work to certificating, but in the process, when they are certificated, in the process nobody follow in the strict that have to be, and there they make a lot of problem for a company and the other clients and the client of the company because they take away that process that procedure and don't make the things in the right way.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, I think that's very valid. What about you, Amp? Do you agree?
Yes, I think the quality is something that some companies just skip over there, and they think probably in order to save money, but they don't realize that is an important step that you have to be careful with. It's just not just for the results that they probably you are going to have many problems in like a domino after if you don't are conscious about the quality in this step. So when it's maybe when you realize that it could be too late and the consequences are going to be worst because you are going to spend more time, you are going to use more human resources.
I agree. What about you, Anna? Do you agree?
So, in my opinion, the companies that don't care about quality and up bankrupting because they cannot uh, they cannot my gosh succeed without quality. You know, if you put in the market a product that has a bad quality and even though being a cheaper product, people will realize it and then stop buying this product. And also the companies that uh, take care of the customers can 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 be sure about the quality of their products.
That's true. Let's all think of software. We buy computers or video games and software, and how often is there a patch on the first day? It's crazy. Jar, what do you think? Do you think companies really care about quality these days?
Yes, I think so. The companies, most of the companies really care about quality, but sometimes the consumer doesn't understand because if you want a high quality product, you should pay a little bit more. Sometimes we want to pay a low price and get a high quality. And other point is that all the products will present a type of defect. You know, if you produce a large quantity, some of this quantity it would be acceptable. A small quantity or a small percentage maybe won't work properly. So, but the company should plan how we can solve and take care about the problems or give an answer to the consumers when they find a problem. This is the big issue, in my opinion.
Very good. Thank you very much. And last but not least, Jose, what are your thoughts on?
I think that now the companies don't take care so much about the quality. And I think that they fill in a lot of papers in order to obtain some certificate. I think when you find a problem or something wrong in the last step of the chain, it is high to solve the problem. You have to take care about the quality in the beginning of the chain, in the first step, and in the plant quality. The plant quality is the most important part of the control quality.
Yeah, quality is very important. I've noticed with software now, I never buy a first release. I always wait. The amount of software now where you buy it, and on day one there's a new release, a new patch. The first day, which means they're clearly releasing it early, while they continue to work on the product. They know it's got problems. And some of these are causing major problems, but it's the new model they're adapting. Cars are different, though. Oh, it looks like it's starting to rain like crazy here. It's good that the storms held off. We didn't have to worry about any power loss or failures. But anyhow, this is a very good conversation to have. Remember the difference between quality assurance and quality control. One is prevention. The other one is identification and correction. Now, I don't have any other classes until Monday, but then I have a lot. I might have a class on Sunday. I'm not sure yet. If I do, I'll send you guys out a mail message.
Okay.
Starting next week, I have a ton of classes. So check it out, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Okay.
And for those of you who've been in every class today, especially Anna and Am, thank you so much for spending your time with me today.
Okay.
Teacher,
Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Cheers.